The Draconian threat. In the vast expanse of the Milky Way, the Draconian Empire reigned supreme. For millennia, they had conquered world after world, their military might unmatched, their thirst for power unquenchable. The Draconians were a fearsome sight to behold, reptilian humanoids with scales that shimmered like polished obsidian, eyes that glowed with an eerie amber light, and razor-sharp claws that could tear through the toughest armor. Admiral Zexcoris stood on the bridge of the Draconian flagship, the World Breaker, his eyes fixed on the holographic display of their next target, Earth, a small blue planet, unremarkable save for its classification as a death world, a term that brought a sneer to Zexcoris' scaled face. Death world, he scoffed, addressing his second-in-command, Sub-Admiral Yarthel. Have you ever seen such nonsense? These primitive species and their attempts to scare away potential conquerors. Yarthel, a younger Draconian with ambition burning in her eyes, nodded in agreement. Indeed, Admiral. Our scouts report a planet teeming with life, but nothing our biofilters can't handle. Their technology is centuries behind ours. Zexcora's clawed hand waved dismissively. As expected, prepare the invasion fleet. We'll make an example of this death world and show the galaxy the true meaning of terror. As the Draconian war machine sprang into action, alarms blared across Earth's defense networks. In the underground command center of the Global Defense Initiative, GDI, General Sarah Chen received the alert she had been both dreading and preparing for her entire career. Confirmation received, a young lieutenant announced, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. Large fleet detected entering the solar system. Matches known Draconian signatures. General Chen's face remained impassive, but her eyes hardened with determination. So, they've finally come. Initiate Operation Trojan Horse. Let's show these lizards why Earth earned its reputation. Across the planet, hidden facilities hummed to life. In the depths of the Mariana Trench, massive generators powered up, sending carefully modulated electromagnetic pulses through the Earth's crust. High in geosynchronous orbit, seemingly innocuous satellites realigned themselves, ready to deploy a web of quantum-entangled particles. Meanwhile, in the heartland of what was once known as the United States, Dr. Elias Mokri put the finishing touches on humanity's secret weapon. The fruit of decades of reverse-engineered alien technology and human ingenuity stood before him, a sleek, silvery device no larger than a briefcase. It's ready, he spoke into his comm unit, his voice a mix of pride and apprehension. Project Pandora is online. Back on the World Breaker, Admiral Zexcora reviewed the invasion plans one last time. The Draconian strategy was simple and had proven effective on countless worlds. Overwhelm the planet's defenses with superior firepower, establish control over key population centers, and crush any remaining resistance. Our first wave will target their primitive orbital defenses and major military installations, Zexcora explained to his assembled commanders. Once those are neutralized, we'll begin planetary bombardment of their largest cities. That should break their will to resist rather quickly. Sub-Admiral Yarthel, ever the voice of caution, spoke up. What of the planet's extreme environments? The scouts reported vast temperature ranges, volatile weather systems, and diverse ecosystems. Zexcora's laugh was cold and dismissive. Yarthel, you worry too much. Our troops are equipped with the finest environmental suits in the galaxy. A little rain or snow won't stop the might of the Draconian Empire. As the invasion fleet approached Earth's orbit, a palpable sense of anticipation filled the Draconian ships. They had done this dozens of times before. The thrill of conquest never got old. Yet there was something different about this planet. Perhaps it was the way it shimmered blue and green against the backdrop of space, or the unusual readings their sensors were picking up. Whatever it was, it only served to heighten the Draconians' bloodlust. Little did they know, as they prepared to unleash hell upon Earth, that humanity had been preparing its own welcome party. The Death World was about to live up to its name. and the Draconian Empire was sailing into a trap centuries in the making. In GDI headquarters, General Chen watched as the enemy fleet entered striking distance. With a deep breath, she gave the order that would change the course of human history. All units, initiate Operation Trojan Horse. Let's show these aliens why you don't mess with a death world. As the words left her mouth, the trap was sprung. The battle for Earth had begun, and the Draconians were about to learn that sometimes reputations exist for a very good reason. Earth's secret preparations. For centuries, humanity had gazed at the stars, wondering if we were alone in the universe. The answer came not with a whisper, but with a roar, the devastating assault of the Roxan Empire on a distant human colony world. Though the attack was repelled, the message was clear: Earth was not safe. In the aftermath of the Roxan incident, the nations of Earth did something unprecedented. They united. The Global Defense Initiative was born, a secret organization tasked with preparing humanity for the next alien threat. For decades, GDI worked tirelessly, hidden from the public eye, advancing human technology by leaps and bounds. Dr. Elias Mokri, a child prodigy at the time of the Roxan attack, had devoted his life to unlocking the secrets of alien technology. In a hidden laboratory beneath the New Mexico desert, he stood before the culmination of his life's work, Project Pandora. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" he mused, running a hand through his graying hair. His assistant, Dr. Aisha Patel, nodded in agreement. "But will it work?" she asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. Elias smiled, a glint of mischief in his eyes. "Oh, it'll work. The Draconians won't know what hit them." Project Pandora was just one piece of Earth's elaborate defense plan. Across the globe, other technological marvels waited to be unleashed. In the heart of the Amazon rainforest, Professor Maria Santos put the finishing touches on the Gaia network, a global system that could manipulate Earth's electromagnetic field on a massive scale. "Let's see how their fancy ships handle a planet-sized EMP," she chuckled to herself. Meanwhile, high above the Earth, astronaut-turned-Commander Jack Harper floated in the seemingly ordinary International Space Station. But appearances were deceiving. With a few keystrokes, Harper could transform the ISS into the command center for Earth's orbital defense grid, a network of satellites armed with weaponry that would make most planetary armies jealous. "Space Station to GDI Command," Harper reported. "Orbital systems are green across the board. We're ready to give these lizards a proper Earth welcome." Back in the GDI headquarters, General Sarah Chen reviewed the status reports from around the world. Every hidden base, every secret weapon, every covert operation, all were in place. Humanity had transformed its homeworld into a fortress, though any alien observers would see only a primitive, fractured society. "General," her aide interrupted, "we're receiving a transmission from Luna Base." Chen nodded, and the main screen lit up with the image of Colonel Yuki Tanaka, commander of humanity's secret lunar installation. "General, the Draconian fleet has passed Mars orbit," Tanaka reported. "Our stealth systems are holding. They have no idea we're here. Helium-3 harvesters are at maximum capacity, and the mass drivers are armed and ready." "Excellent work, Colonel," Chen replied. "Maintain radio silence until my signal. You'll be our ace in the hole if things get dicey." As she ended the transmission, Chen couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. Humanity had come so far in such a short time. The nations of Earth, once divided by petty conflicts, had put aside their differences in the face of a common threat. It hadn't been easy. Old hatreds died hard. But the specter of alien invasion was a powerful motivator. In orbit, the first line of Earth's defense waited silently. Disguised as debris or defunct satellites, thousands of microscopic drones floated in carefully calculated trajectories. Each one was capable of latching onto a Draconian ship, bypassing shields to gather intelligence or sabotage systems. Deeper in space, past the orbit of Mars, the early warning system kicked into high gear. Quantum entangled particles, linked to receivers on Earth, registered the approach of the Draconian fleet long before conventional sensors could detect them. As the alarm spread through GDI's global network, final preparations were made. In hidden bunkers, soldiers donned powered armor that could rival the Draconian's own. In underwater bases, pilots climbed into mechs designed to fight in Earth's crushing ocean depths. And in secret hangars around the world, pilots prepared to take to the skies in fighters that pushed the laws of physics to their limits. Dr. Makri's voice crackled over the GDI command frequency. General Chen, Project Pandora is fully operational. On your command, we can deploy the system globally. Understood, Doctor, Chen replied. Stand by for my signal. She turned to her command staff, each member representing a different nation, a different discipline, but all united in purpose. This is what we've prepared for, people. The Draconians think they're invading a primitive world ripe for conquest. Let's show them how wrong they are. As the Draconian fleet entered the solar system, humanity held its breath. Centuries of warfare, of technological development, of unity forged in the face of cosmic threat. It all came down to this moment. In homes and schools, in offices and factories, life continued as normal. The public remained blissfully unaware of the alien armada approaching their world, or of the web of defenses waiting to be sprung. It was a testament to GDI's effectiveness that panic hadn't erupted, that the streets weren't filled with doomsday preppers and panicked civilians. General Chen stood at the heart of it all, her finger hovering over the button that would initiate Earth's defense plan. As the first Draconian ships entered Earth orbit, a grim smile played across her lips. Contact in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She pressed the button. Welcome to Earth, you scaly bastards. Across the planet and beyond, humanity's trap began to close. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and the Draconians were in for one hell of a surprise. The failed invasion. Admiral Zexcora stood triumphantly on the bridge of the Worldbreaker, his amber eyes gleaming with anticipated victory. The blue pearl of Earth hung before him, ripe for conquest. His fleet, thousands of ships strong, moved into attack formation with practiced precision. Commence the assault, Zexcora commanded, his voice filled with the confidence of a conqueror who had never known defeat. Target their primitive orbital defenses and major military installations. Let's show these humans the futility of resistance. The Draconian fleet opened fire, a barrage of energy weapons and missiles streaking towards Earth. Zexcora waited for the satisfying explosions, the terrified communications from the planet below begging for mercy. They never came. Instead, the weapons seemed to vanish as they approached Earth's atmosphere. Confusion rippled through the Draconian ranks. What's happening? Zexcora demanded. Where are our strikes landing? Before anyone could answer, alarms blared across the Worldbreaker. Ship after ship reported system malfunctions, weapons going offline, shields flickering. In GDI headquarters, General Chen allowed herself a small smile. Gaia network is online and functioning perfectly. Electromagnetic disruption at 100% effectiveness. The Draconian fleet, for all its advanced technology, found itself struggling against an invisible foe. Their sensors, calibrated for the vacuum of space, were going haywire in Earth's uniquely complex magnetosphere, now amplified 100-fold by the Gaia network. Zexcora snarled in frustration. Launch fighters. Prepare for atmospheric entry. We'll crush them on the ground if we must. As Draconian fighters poured from the capital ships, Earth's orbital defense grid sprang to life. What the aliens had dismissed as space junk transformed into a deadly web of automated weapons platforms. Jack Harper's voice came over the GDI comms from the transformed International Space Station. Orbital grid is hot, engaging enemy fighters. The space around Earth lit up with weapons fire. Draconian fighters, their systems scrambled by the electromagnetic interference, fell by the dozens to pinpoint accurate fire from Earth's defense grid. But the Draconians were nothing if not persistent. Wave after wave of ships pushed through the orbital defenses, entering Earth's atmosphere. As they did, they encountered another unpleasant surprise. Earth's skies, usually filled with the contrails of aircraft and the glow of city lights, had transformed. Swarms of advanced drones, hidden in plain sight as everyday objects, took to the air. They latched onto Draconian ships, boring through hulls and wreaking havoc on internal systems. "This is impossible," Sub-Admiral Yarthel exclaimed, watching in horror as their forces were decimated not by superior firepower, but "it's working," Dr. Pottle exclaimed, watching the data stream in. "Their energy weapons are destabilizing faster than they can compensate." The tide of battle was turning, but the Draconians were far from defeated. Zex Cora, his dreams of easy conquest shattered, resorted to desperate measures. "Prepare the planet cracker," he roared. "If we can't have this world, no one will." The World Breaker's main weapon, capable of shattering a planet's crust, began to power up. It was the Draconians' ultimate trump card, a weapon that had brought even the most stubborn worlds to their knees. But humanity had planned for this too. High above the Earth, Colonel Tanaka's voice crackled over the comms. "Luna Base here. We have a lock on the enemy flagship. Mass drivers are hot." From the hidden base on the far side of the moon, massive electromagnetic railguns opened fire. Tungsten rods, accelerated to a fraction of light speed, streaked across space. The World Breaker's shields, already strained by Project Pandora's quantum interference, couldn't hope to stop them. The Draconian flagship shuddered under the impact. Zex Cora watched in disbelief as his mighty vessel, the pride of the Draconian fleet, began to break apart. "This can't be happening," he turning the tables. As the World Breaker shattered under Luna Base's assault, the Draconian invasion force fell into disarray. Admiral Zex Cora, his grand plans of conquest crumbling around him, barely managed to escape in a life pod. The mighty Draconian fleet, once the terror of the galaxy, was now scattered and vulnerable in Earth's orbit. General Chen, seeing the opportunity, knew it was time to press the advantage. "All units, commence Operation Prometheus. Let's take the fight to them." Across the planet, humanity's hidden strength revealed itself. From the oceans rose sleek, advanced submarines, capable of launching into low orbit. The skies filled with fighters that seemed to defy the laws of physics, their movements impossibly agile. And from hidden silos across the globe, a new type of missile took flight, not aimed at the Draconian ships, but at strategic points in Earth's upper atmosphere. Dr. Maria Santos, monitoring the Gaia network, grinned as she saw the missiles detonate. Atmospheric ionization successful. Initiating global EM surge in 3, 2, 1. A wave of electromagnetic energy, carefully tuned to Earth's unique magnetic field, swept across the planet. To the Draconians, it was as if the entire world had turned into one massive EMP weapon. Ships that had weathered the initial assault suddenly found themselves without power, drifting helplessly. In low Earth orbit, Jack Harper coordinated the counterattack from the transformed International Space Station. All orbital platforms. Target disabled enemy vessels. Tractor beams online. Let's start bringing in some prizes for the eggheads to study. The remnants of the Draconian fleet, those ships that still had power, attempted to regroup. But they found themselves facing an enemy that seemed to be everywhere at once. Human fighters, piloted by aces who had trained their entire lives for this moment, danced between the alien ships. They were smaller and seemingly less advanced, but they fought with a ferocity and skill that left the Draconians reeling. Sub-Admiral Yarthel, now the highest-ranking Draconian officer still in command, tried desperately to rally her forces. "Regroup. Form a defensive perimeter. Weaken still." Her words were cut short as her ship's systems suddenly went haywire. Unbeknownst to her, one of Earth's microscopic drones had attached itself to the hull, interfacing with the ship's computer core. Dr. Elias Mokri's voice came over the GDI command channel, a note of excitement clear in his tone. Project Pandora Phase 2 initiated. We're in their systems, General. Their encryption is good, but it's no match for a targeted quantum decryption assault. All across the battlefield, Draconian ships found themselves turning against each other. Weapons fired without command, shields dropped at crucial moments, and life support systems flickered on and off. The aliens fought not just the humans now, but their own technology. In the skies over major cities, the few Draconian ground forces that had managed to land found themselves hopelessly outmatched. Human defenders in powered armor suits engaged them in close combat, while mechs provided heavy fire support. What had been intended as a show of force to cow the population into submission had turned into a desperate fight for survival. Admiral Zexcora, watching from his life pod, as his invasion force was systematically dismantled, couldn't believe what he was seeing. "How?" he muttered, his pride warring with his military pragmatism. How could we have underestimated them so badly? The answer, of course, was simple. The Draconians had seen what they expected to see, a primitive world, ripe for conquest. They had never considered that Earth's apparent technological backwardness might be a carefully constructed illusion. As the battle raged on, humanity's true capabilities were on full display. Weapons that tapped into the fundamental forces of the universe, defenses that turned the planet itself into a weapon, and underlying it all, a unity of purpose that allowed a species known for its divisions to stand as one against an alien threat. In GDI headquarters, General Chen watched the tactical displays with grim satisfaction. The plan was working better than they could have hoped, but she knew the fight was far from over. "Prepare the Lazarus Protocol," she ordered. "It's time to take the fight beyond Earth." Around the world, hidden launch facilities roared to life. What appeared to be simple communications satellites streaked into orbit, but as they reached their designated positions, they began to transform. Solar panels unfolded into vast arrays, while hidden weapons ports opened to reveal technology that would have seemed like magic just a few decades ago. "Lazarus satellites deployed," reported Colonel Tanaka from Luna Base. Activating FTL interdiction field. A shimmering energy field sprang to life around Earth and its moon, cutting off the Draconian fleet's escape route. The trap was complete. Admiral Zexcora, seeing the field flare to life, realized the full extent of the humans' plan. They hadn't just been defending their world, they had been preparing to take the fight to the stars. As the last pockets of Draconian resistance were mopped up, General Chen allowed herself a moment of reflection. The battle for Earth had been won, but she knew it was only the beginning. Humanity had revealed itself to the galaxy as a force to be reckoned with. The Draconian Empire would not take this defeat lightly. But that was a problem for tomorrow. Today, Earth had stood its ground. Humanity had faced its first true test against an alien invader and emerged victorious. As the Lazarus satellites settled into their orbits, a new chapter in human history began. Earth was no longer just a death world to be avoided or conquered. It was a fortress, a bastion of resistance against any who would threaten it. And somewhere out in the black of space, as news of the Draconian defeat spread, other alien races began to take notice. The galaxy would never be the same again. Aftermath and galactic implications. In the days following the failed Draconian invasion, Earth buzzed with activity. The skies, once filled with alien warships, now teemed with debris recovery vessels and orbital repair crews. The truth of humanity's technological advancement and the reality of alien life could no longer be hidden from the public. General Sarah Chen stood before the United Nations Security Council, her uniform crisp, her posture rigid. The weight of humanity's future rested on her shoulders as she prepared to address not just the leaders of Earth, but through them, the entire human race. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady, "the events of the past week have forever changed our place in the universe. We are not alone, and we are no longer hidden." Murmurs rippled through the assembly as holographic displays flickered to life, showing the true extent of Earth's defenses and the devastation wrought upon the Draconian fleet. For decades, the Global Defense Initiative has worked in secret, preparing for this day. We have achieved technological marvels, unified our planet's defenses, and today we stand victorious against what was thought to be the most powerful empire in the galaxy. In New Mexico, Dr. Elias Mokri and his team pored over the captured Draconian technology. Project Pandora had exceeded all expectations, and now they had a wealth of alien tech to study and reverse engineer. "This is incredible," Dr. Puddle exclaimed, examining a Draconian power core. "Their energy production methods are centuries ahead of what we thought possible. With this, we could solve Earth's energy crisis overnight." Mokri nodded, his eyes gleaming with excitement. And that's just the beginning. Their FTL drives, their weapon systems, we're on the cusp of a new age of discovery. High above the Earth, the International Space Station had been transformed into a command center for humanity's new orbital defense network. Commander Jack Harper oversaw the integration of captured Draconian ships into Earth's growing fleet. "To think," he mused to his XO, "a month ago, we were worried about space debris. Now we're retrofitting alien battlecruisers." But not all was celebratory. In GDI's high-security detention center, Admiral Zex Cora sat in contemplative silence. The once proud Draconian leader was now a prisoner, his empire's invincibility shattered. General Chen entered his cell, her face impassive. "Admiral," she addressed him, "I trust you're finding your accommodations satisfactory." Zex Cora looked up, his reptilian features unreadable. "You've doomed yourselves, you know," he said quietly. "The Empire will not stand for this humiliation. They will come for you with a force that will make my fleet look like a scouting party." Chen's lips curved into a small smile. "Perhaps, but I don't think we'll have to face them alone." Even as she spoke, Earth's quantum entanglement communicators were abuzz with activity. News of the Draconian defeat had spread faster than light speed, and the galaxy was responding. In the Galactic Council, long dominated by the Draconian Empire and its allies, representatives from 100 worlds watched in stunned silence as footage of the battle for Earth played out before them. Ambassador Zorax of the Altarian Confederation was the first to speak. "For too long, we have lived under the shadow of Draconian oppression. If these, humans, have found a way to defeat them, then perhaps it is time we reconsider our alliances." Across the galaxy, worlds that had long chafed under Draconian rule began to stir. Resistance movements, emboldened by Earth's victory, launched coordinated strikes against their oppressors. The Draconian Empire, once thought unassailable, found itself beset on all sides. Back on Earth, in the depths of the Mariana Trench, Professor Maria Santos and her team worked tirelessly to expand the capabilities of the Gaia network. "If we can extend the network's range," she explained to her colleagues, "we could create a planetary defense system for any world willing to stand with us against the Draconians." In Limmer orbit, Colonel Yuki Tanaka oversaw the expansion of Luna Base into humanity's first true off-world colony and shipyard. "To think," she mused, watching as the first human-designed FTL-capable warship took shape. "A few years ago, we were celebrating putting a man on Mars. Now we're preparing to take our place among the stars." As the dust settled and Earth began to look toward its new future, General Chen found herself once again standing before the world's leaders. This time, however, she was joined by representatives from a dozen alien races, former vassals and victims of the Draconian Empire, now looking to Earth for leadership and protection. "We stand at a crossroads," Chen addressed the assembly. "We have revealed ourselves to the galaxy, and there is no going back. The Draconian Empire will seek retribution, yes, but they will find not just humanity standing against them, but a coalition of free worlds." She gestured to the alien representatives. "These brave beings have chosen to stand with us, to fight for their freedom, and for a galaxy where no single power can dominate through fear and violence. Earth will no longer be just our homeworld. It will be a beacon of hope for all who yearn to be free." The assembly erupted in applause, human and alien voices joining together in a chorus of determination and hope. As the galactic political landscape shifted and realigned, Earth found itself at the center of a new interstellar alliance. The technology that had defended the planet was adapted to shield other worlds. The unity that had allowed humanity to stand against the Draconian threat became the foundation for a new galactic federation. And far beyond the edges of known space, in the heart of Draconian territory, news of the Empire's defeat reached the Imperial Palace. The Draconian Emperor, a being who hadn't left his throne in 1,000 years, stirred with an emotion he had long thought forgotten: fear. For the age of unchallenged Draconian supremacy was over. A new power had arisen, born on a planet the Empire had dismissed as a primitive backwater. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and the universe would never be the same. In the skies above Earth, as the first joint human-alien defense fleet took up its patrol, a new chapter in galactic history began. The Death World had not only survived, it had thrived. And now, it would lead the charge into a new era of freedom, discovery, and untold adventures among the stars. The end, or perhaps just the beginning.